balance of about 3 billion Omani riyals until the end of last May. The structural works for the new Khasab Hospital building in Musandam Governorate are completed. And Fisheries Development Oman Company launches first Omani fishing trawler, Akila. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. The Sultanate of Oman achieved a surplus in its trade balance of about 3 billion Omani riyals until the end of last May. In the data stated by the National Center for Statistics and Information and published by Oman newspaper today, the value of merchandise imports to the Sultanate of Oman increased by 3% to reach 6,230 million Omani riyals, while the exports declined by 9.5% to reach 9,150 million till the end of last May compared to the same period last year. Statistics indicated that the value of oil and gas exports amounted to 5,760 million Omani riyals, while non-oil exports amounted to 2,730 million riyals during that period. Construction works continue in the Governorate of Musandam for a number of healthcare projects that are expected to open soon to meet the needs of citizens and keep up with the growing demand for healthcare services due to the increasing population. One of the ongoing projects is the new Khasab Hospital, which is being built on a total area of 100,000 square meters. The built-up area of the project is approximately 36,000 square meters. And the main hospital building consists of 3 floors with a capacity of 164 beds. The new hospital comprises various specialized inpatient wards for men and women, including a surgical ward, internal medicine ward, women and maternity ward, pediatric ward, as well as intensive care units for adults, children, and newborns. The hospital is equipped with operating rooms and their accessories. The overall completion rate of the project is 63.5%, with the structural works being 100% complete. The project's cost more than 48 million and 468 million Omani riyals and is expected to be completed in 2024. The Ministry of Transport, Communications and Information Technology, represented by the Directorate General of Maritime Affairs, registered the first Omani advanced fishing trawler under the name Akila. The vessel is owned by Oman Pelagic Company, an affiliate of Fisheries Development Oman. The trawler is designed according to the highest international standards, which reflect the company's commitment to sustainable fishing practices and economic growth in the fisheries sector. The inauguration ceremony was held at Sultan Qaboos Port in Matrah and was patronized by His Excellency Sultan bin Salim Al Habsi, Minister of Finance. Engineer Nabil bin Salim Al Bimani, CEO of Fisheries Development Oman, confirmed that the tenders for the development of the superstructure of the fishing port of Duqm will be floated next October after completing all requirements for the trial operation of the port. He added that the initial operation services were all completed as the engineering designs have reached more than 60%. He indicated that the port is a cooperation alliance between a group of companies from the Omani side and French port of Lorraine. He pointed out that the Sultanate of Oman owns 70% of the cooperation alliance, which is affiliated to the Oman Investment Authority, represented in the Fisheries Development Oman Company, Al-Wusta Fisheries Industries, and Asiat Group, while the French port of Lorraine owns the remaining 30%. The Sultanate of Oman has expressed its condemnation of the brutal acts of sabotage which triggered or targeted a number of churches and houses in the city of Faisalabad, eastern Pakistan. In a statement by the Foreign Ministry, the Sultanate of Oman praised the measures taken by the Pakistani government to address these acts that are contrary with religious and human values and teachings, reiterating its rejection of all practices of violence, hatred, and intolerance against religions and beliefs. And in our international news, 2 Ukrainian drones were destroyed in the Moscow region, disrupting flights at 2 of the capital's airports. Russia's defense ministry said it jammed a Ukrainian drone in the Ruzhki district west of the capital and later destroyed another one in the Istrinsky district nearby. Arrivals and departures from Moscow's Vnukovo and Domodedova airports were briefly halted but later restarted. Ukrainian drone strikes both on border regions and on the Russian capital have become increasingly common in recent months, with repeated strikes on Moscow's financial district. Russia said in May that 2 Ukrainian drones had tried to attack the Kremlin. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un oversaw a test of strategic cruise missiles as South Korea and the United States kicked off annual military drills that Pyongyang sees as a rehearsal for war. State media KCNA said today Kim visited a Navy fleet stationed on the East Coast to oversee the test aboard a warship without specifying the date of his trip. KCNA said that the launch was aimed at verifying the combat function of the ship and the feature of its missile system while improving the sailors' capability to carry out an attack mission in actual war, noting that the ship's missile hit its target. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida today promised his government's full support for fishing communities during the decades-long process to release treated radioactive wastewater from the wrecked Fukushima nuclear plant into the sea. Meeting with fisheries representatives, Kishida promised measures to protect the fishing industry's reputation until the release ends. Head of the National Federation of Fisheries Cooperatives reiterated his organization's support or opposition to the release. He said members of the fishing community have gained some confidence about the safety of the move, but that they still fear damage to their industry and welcome the government pledge for support. And in our local news, the Consumer Protection Authority is working to monitor libraries, bookshops, and other stores selling school supplies in order to ensure the availability of goods and the stability of prices in the markets in these days before schools are open back in session. The authority has deployed field teams that monitor the supply of educational and stationery supplies in terms of the quality of these products and the way they are presented to consumers. With a value exceeding 108 million Omani riyals, the number of foreign investment projects in South Al-Sharqiya Governorate reached 124 investment projects. The governorate is a stimulating location for economic growth as the number of commercial registries completed by the Department of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion in the governorate exceeded 19,400 records, whereas the completed industrial registries reached 1,150 by the first half of this year. The Ministry of Education organized a 3-day event on promoting the values of patriotism held at the Sultan Qaboos Youth Complex for Culture and Entertainment in the Wilaya of Salalah. The program includes the presentation of various work papers on patriotism and its role in enhancing and developing the national identity and the values of nationalism. The event also includes employment initiatives and discusses national responsibility and digital nationalism concepts. A poetry evening and an exhibition for handicrafts are also among the activities of the event. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main headlines once again. The Sultanate of Oman achieves a surplus in its trade balance of about 3 billion Omani riyals until the end of last May. The structural works for the new Khasab Hospital building in Musandam Governorate are completed. And Fisheries Development Oman Company launches first Omani fishing trawler, Akila. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.